Welcome to Addicted to Freedom, where we show you that you are more than your addictions. My name is Dalton Locke, and I am your host. And today we're going to be talking about what happens when people stop believing in you and the things you can do about it. So I know for a lot of people that are addicts or have been addicts or called addicts, and you all know who you are, over periods of time, I'm sure you have tried to kick whatever addiction it is that has been dragging you down and has been having your hands and feet and neck tied by these chains. And I know that you will tell people, because I've seen it many times in my life, that today is the day or yesterday is the day that you are going to quit this addiction and you're going to stop doing the thing it is that is causing you so much hell and pain in your life and other people's lives as well. And you want to believe that people around you actually believe that what you're saying is true. Like, you want them to believe in you. Of course you do, because, you know, these are the things you're saying. But if you listen back a couple episodes ago, I talked about that people only will trust your actions and not so much your words. And so your words have to match your actions. Now, I know that you don't want to hear that most people probably don't believe that you're going to do what you say you're going to do, because let's face it, I'm sure this is not the first time you've ever said that. And the reason this all comes up and I bring this up is because I don't feel like on any level that I'm better than you, or that I know something that you don't know, or I even have the right to even be saying this to you. Because the truth is, I'm only speaking my truth, and I'm speaking what I believe that is coming through the ether for me to say. Recently, a good friend of mine came to me, and they told me about a success that they had had in business. And I said, man, congratulations. I'm so excited for you that you are finally reaching the pinnacle of what it is that you've been reaching for such a long time. And his response was, wow, you believed in me? And my response was, of course I believed in you. Why would I believe in you? He says, you know, most people around me in my life, they don't believe anything. They don't believe what I say. And I said, well, that's really interesting, because in my experience of being around you as a man, you haven't shown any of that. You've actually shown just the opposite of that. You know, your work that you put in matches your goals. The heart that you have matches your goals. And the mind that you possess and the things that you do on a daily basis matches your goals and what you say. And I just knew for a fact that you'd make it happen because, well, your spirit and everything about you says that you are going to do exactly what it is that you're committed to. So if you look at yourself for just a moment now and rewind back what I had just said, that these things matched this man's goals, do your actions and the things you do on a daily basis, do they match your goals, right? Are the things you're doing right now, are they bringing you closer to your goals? So for instance, if you think that today you're not going to do something that's going to bring you back to your addictions, like that thing that you go to do, or do you ask yourself like, hey, is this going to bring me closer to the things I want, or is this going to drag me further away from the things I want, right? So the other thing I want you to think about too is when you're talking about your goals and you're talking about basically giving up on your addictions, who are you talking to about these things? Like, who's your support system? Who's the people around you that you're talking to about this? Because a lot of times, and I can only talk from a business aspect or a physical fitness or a mental aspect here, in doing something different than I've done before and reaching certain goals. And I do believe that, you know, kicking a habit or kicking an addiction is definitely a goal. And what a lot of people do, though, is they tell people these goals that they have. And yet most of these people that they talk to these goals about have never really been through the thing they say that they're trying to accomplish. So most people in general, unfortunately, they don't meet people with, heck yeah, you can do that. Or they may say that, but in the back of their mind, they're thinking there's no way in hell that that's going to happen. And I think a lot of people almost get off on seeing people fail because they truly have not succeeded. And so when you're talking to people about the things you want to accomplish, I want you to think about who is it that you're actually talking to. I mean, is it people that have actually accomplished their goals? Are they doing those things? Have they been to the peak? Have they been to the top of where you want to go? Because I can tell you, doing a lot of things in my life, I know what it takes to get there. And so when a man will come to me or a woman will say, hey, listen, this is the peak in my life I want to reach. And I can tell by their actions that they are men that are already doing the things it takes to reach the peak, right? Meaning they stay the course, they recognize their journey, and they already have that warrior's heart within them. It's easy for them to walk on the same journey that other people have walked on before. And so going back to that, the steps that you're taking and the things that you're doing to reach the peak, we'll call it for a moment. Again, moving away from the words addiction, but we'll reach the peak of changing your life. Now, if you want to do that, the thing that I would actually even challenge even more than just that is, the one thing I know about this man that I'm talking to you guys about is he had a reason to want to do that. He had a reason to want to change his life. He had a reason to want to, be successful in business and change his life and change the people's lives around him. And he had an actual deep why that was guiding him to get to where he wanted to go. And so before you ever even go on the journey of going up the peak, ask yourself, why do you even want to get to the top? Like, what is it that you want to see at the top of this peak? And what is waiting once you get there, right? Because once you can see that there's a reason to go on this journey, and you can see that at the top that there's an amazing view and there's people up there to greet you, and all of the things that you desire and want and dream about are at the very top of this peak, it makes it a lot easier to get there when you may want to give up and just say that you're through, that you don't want to keep going up this peak, that you don't want to keep going up the trail to get to what it is that you truly want, because there's nothing in life that's easy. And, for some people listening to this, they may not like what I'm saying. They might, and if you don't, you can turn it off, because frankly, all I want to do here is my goal is to inspire one person, one listener today that decides that, hey, listen, you know what? I want to make a commitment to do something different. I want to be someone different, because what people see me as today, which is this form of addiction, is not really who I am. It's just who they see, because my results and my actions have shown the world that this is who I am in this moment in time. But with the snap of a finger, I can become something different. I can do something different. And I'm willing to go up that path, and I'm willing to do something different. So that's why it's easy when you see people that have already reached those goals. When you see people that are doing the things it takes, who's going to be successful versus who's not, right? Like, I think deep down, we all can look at someone and be like, you know what? I know that person's going to make it because they're doing the things it takes to already reach the peak. They're already getting in shape to reach the peak. They're already making sure they have their water. They're making sure they have their bag. They're making sure that they have their boots. They're doing everything it takes. They've got a map. They've got lights. They've got tents. They've got food. They've got a guide that's helping them get to that top. And that's the amazing part. That's how you know someone's going to succeed, because they put the tools in place to succeed. So today, when you're thinking about making a decision about changing your lives and about changing your outcome of the direction that you're headed to, it's important for you to think, are you prepared to reach the peak? Do your actions show that you're ready to reach your goals? Because I know someone on here today listening that you are. I know that you're sick and tired of all the bullshit. I know you're sick and tired of trying to figure out how to, get your next fix, how to get high, how to avoid, how to do all those things. Like, I know you're already past all that stuff, and you've probably hit a point in time where you're like, damn, I just want to change. And I can say for me personally, I don't know what that truly feels like, because there's many places in my life I have truly wanted to change, and I have made those changes. And truthfully, it's something that I have to do on a daily basis to make it happen. But when it comes to using drugs, and when it comes to heavy amounts of alcohol and other things, I just simply have never been there. Now, that doesn't mean I haven't ever done drugs or drank or done any of these things. I just thank God, and I think everything in my soul that for some reason, when I would start to go down this path that could lead to addiction through all kinds of different drugs, that I made a decision when I saw that that path was taking me down a place I didn't like, to stop. And I had the ability to stop that. And I think the reason I had the ability to stop that is not because I'm better than anybody else. Definitely not. Or I know more. It's just somehow inside of me, I saw that if I kept going down that path, it would lead to absolute destruction and hell. And I refused that. And so I would put goals on myself to say, I'm not going to do this for 30 days, or I'm going to stop doing this. Now, I've never touched heroin. I've never touched, meth. And unfortunately, these days, a lot of the drugs that are out there, they're absolutely made to cause addiction. And they're absolutely made to put chains around your feet and to hold people back. And frankly, if you're in that situation right now, somehow or another, it was made to hold you back. But I know that you wouldn't be listening to this podcast unless you actually had a desire and a need and the heart and the soul to want to change those things. And so I know your heart. And all I can say is that I want the best for you. And today, if you choose to, today could be the first day that you make a decision and choice to decide not to do that anymore. Decide that, hey, listen, you're going to take whatever, drugs or alcohol you're going to take and pour the whiskey down the sink. You're going to, take your drugs and put them down the toilet and all your paraphernalia with it. And you're going to start to focus on what it is you truly desire, what life it is that you want to create. Because right now we live in one of the most amazing times in history, where you can be and do and build whatever you want to build if you're willing to go the distance. And maybe that's what's at the top of the peak for you. Or maybe it's about having a better relationship with your family or your child or a friend or coworker, colleague, a brother or sister. Maybe that's what it's about, And if it is, I challenge you. You know what I mean? Go for it. Do it. You got it. This whole podcast is just about me spreading my message of love, and that you can do this. And yes, some of the words come out of my mouth might be a little bit brash and harsh, but the reality is, for me, it's truly because I love you. And I'm so tired of seeing the pain and suffering in this world. And I just want to end this. And that's what breaking the chains is all about. So I'll leave you with this. Today on your journey, as you see people wanting to break the chains of addictions in their own life, or even accomplish something they've never accomplished before, instead of being the naysayer and saying they can't do it, I challenge you to say, you know what? Hell yes, you can do it. I believe in you. You've got this. There is no doubt in my mind that you're absolutely going to do what it is you say you're going to do. And that's what I believe about you. I believe what you say you're going to do and what you're committed to, you're going to do it. And just take the time. You know what I mean? You set up a 30-day goal. And let's say, for instance, that you make it to day 3 and you fall off and you fuck up. That's okay. That was 3 more days than you had before. But instead of beating yourself up about it and saying, well, you know what? I didn't make it to the peak. I didn't do what I said I was going to do. Scratch that day out and start over. And you might make it to day 5. And then a little longer after that, you start over again and you make it to day 10. Look, change does not just happen overnight. It's not a snap of a finger. You're going to have the trials, you're going to have the tribulations, but instead of just giving up on yourself, just see yourself in progress. I'm in progress. I'm in progress to being the thing it is that I desire. I'm in progress of being the most successful person I can be. I'm in progress of being the most positive person I can be. I'm in progress of healing. I'm in progress of changing the world. I'm in progress of making a difference. I'm in progress of being an amazing light to the world and a beacon. Because your story that you have, your journey that you've been on, the things that you have dealt with, and the pain that is inside of you that has led you to this path of avoidance, if you look past that, there's a story in you. There's something amazing. There's something powerful in you that you get to share with the world. So today is day 1. Day 1 in the rest of your life. Make a choice today. Make a choice to change and break the chains. Because if you don't break them in your life, there's nobody else that will. And you deserve to break those chains. And you deserve to be able to see through your eyes clearly. You deserve it. And the people around you, they deserve it. Life is such a beautiful experience and such a beautiful journey when you have the eyes to see. So I know your heart, and I welcome you to the journey to find the peak of what makes you happy. And remember, you are more than just your addictions. You have a story that the world needs to hear.